Hello, welcome to this MBL webinar entitled Car Parking, the Pitfalls for Conveyancers. My name is Lorraine Richardson and I am a solicitor and legal trainer. When I was in practice, I was a partner and the COLP, but now I am freelance and I do lots of things, including webinars for lovely people like MBL. And I've also written a couple of books. And if you want any details about me or what I might be up to, do go to my website, www.adaptlaw.co.uk. But you don't want advertising about me. You want to know what I'm going to tell you about car parking and pitfalls. I think the thing is that, the right to park a vehicle on or near a property is a valuable right, which really requires careful drafting. And of course, the conveyancer acting for the buyer and the lender must ensure that there are legal rights to park if they are expected, and that any problems are reported both to buyer and lender in a timely manner. And of course, at the end of the webinar, I will mention just it's really important for us to as non-contentious conveyancing practitioners to recognise when an issue might become contentious. Now, of course, this is a complex area. I'm only going to attempt to give an overview of some of the key legal issues and practical points, and in particular, the uncertainty around the some of the law and the case law in this area. So what am I going to cover? Well, I'm going to think about what is a right to park and how we might grant a right to park. I'm just going to briefly mention the limitations of the title plan. And there has been a surprising amount of case law across the years in this area. You might think, well, what difference does all that make? Do we really get many cases on this? Well, as you'll see, interestingly, there is a sort of, there's a regular sort of drip every few years of case law on this area. So we'll have a think about protecting our clients' interests. And really from a drafting perspective, we'll be looking at it really from the perspective of, acting for a client or a developer who want, or indeed a landlord who wants to draft and put something in a document regarding a right to park. But of course, the flip side of that is when we're thinking about the drafting. If you are acting for a buyer who is buying a property, then of course, some of those key drafting points are what you need to be looking out for. So don't zone out and think, oh, well, that's not of interest to me because I'm not drafting stuff for my client. But we look at it from the other side if we're acting a buyer and say, okay, well, what does this document actually mean? Does it give my client what they're expecting? And I think that that issue of what my client is expecting is actually one of the key pitfalls in actual fact.